Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
We begin tonight with a battle over reproductive rights in Michigan unfolding all day in a Pontiac courtroom. The hearing is wrapped up, and the judge in the case says his decision will come tomorrow morning at 10:30.
That comes after a day and a half of rather exhaustive back and forth from a number of attorneys over an injunction that prevents county prosecutors in Michigan from charging under the state's 1931 ban on abortions. Grant Herms live in Pontiac. Grant, the judge has a lot to go over here in just a few hours.
Yeah, Devin, Kimberly, a full day and a half of hearing witness testimony, and today some of the most dramatic statements that we have heard in court so far. Day 2 in court in Oakland County with witnesses back on the stand. First up, the lawyers for Governor Gretchen Whitmer, calling to the stand a West Michigan doctor who says she's worried about treating situations like ectopic pregnancies and some types of miscarriages.
It creates a significant area of concern, whereas the standard of care to which physicians are accustomed to and trained to perform could potentially, by meeting that standard of care, physicians could potentially be exposed to criminal liability. But
it was mostly a day for the lawyers for the defendants, 13 prosecutors being sued by the governor, calling their witnesses, including a controversial researcher, Priscilla Carey Coleman, whose research has been called into question by major medical groups and courts.
When women have an abortion compared to a birth or not having a reproductive outcome, there's an 81% increased risk for mental health problems.
And tempers flared as their other witness, a Michigan OBGYN who said women should enjoy their pregnancies even in instances of rape or incest.
These are not proper objections, Your Honor. He's harassing my client. He can
He's
disagree with her.
Questions on cross-examination.
That's
He's entitled to
asked.
ask. It has not been asked, and there has not been a chance for the witness to answer.
It is not a question.
Mr. Kelman, please do not interrupt me while I'm speaking either.
Sorry, Your Honor.
A heated second day in court with a ruling yet to be made.
Is there an
And as you heard, that ruling is expected to come down at 10:30 tomorrow. We'll be back in court to bring you the very latest details. But first, coming up at 6 o'clock, you will hear the closing arguments from both sides here as they make their case one last time to the judge before he makes that ruling tomorrow morning. In Pontiac, Grant Herms, Local 4.
All right, Grant, back to you coming up at 6 o'clock.
Now to new developments in the water main break that's forcing 130,000 Metro Detroiters to boil their water.
Let's bring you up to date on what's happening today. Concrete pads being poured under the existing pipe. That's to stabilize it so that it can be replaced. That has to be done by Tuesday when 48 feet of new pipe will be trucked in. Great Lakes Water Authority says they still expect to have the main back up and running by September 3rd.
And as those 130,000 people anxiously await for the main to be fixed, Help Me Hank is teaming up with Kroger to do something special to help them out. Hank is live in Shelby Township tonight to help donate water to people who need it. Hi, Hank.
Hey, Kimberly, Devin, good evening to both of you. This is what it's all about. Good, safe, clean water. We're talking about thousands of bottles of water, a partnership between Local 4, Help Me Hank, and Kroger. We have one goal. It is getting that water to those who need it now. This is big. 1,500 cases, 30,000 bottles of water. And I have one goal today, getting this water to people here affected by the Boil Water Advisory. We're in neighborhoods, apartment communities, nursing homes, and mobile home parks. Right now, do you take the water then and you just boil it?
Boil it up, you have to let it boil, whistle for it, and then I'll make coffee in the morning, and that's when I start boiling water 3 or 4 times a day.
This afternoon, I meet Linda. No car, fixed income, no way to get bottled water.
And all my empty jugs I fill with water too.
Well, good. Well, you have a case right there. And then I meet Teresa. She runs this large mobile home community here in Shelby Township. Here we'll make sure every single person gets at least 1 case of water.
We already have some that have been asking, so we filled up the golf cart to have them so we can deliver those to them. Grateful to you all for doing this.
Well, good. I'm glad we could help out because it's all about just making sure they have the water that they need. Next stop, 23 in DeQuinder, and a big delivery to one of the area's largest apartment communities. This is all happening because of a partnership between Help Me Hank and Kroger, both committed to making sure we help those who need it and need it right now.
When this opportunity came to us to partner with Channel 4, get out to the communities, hit the dirt, and help distribute some of the water to the people that are affected by this water crisis, we wanted to jump up right at the opportunity.
A big thank you to Kroger. We have people all over the area right now in Washington Township, Bruce Township, the Kroger crews and the trucks, they've been rolling. So what we've been doing, if you're not home, you may come home, you may find that bottle of water on the doorstep. We're going to continue this throughout the evening just to make sure that everybody has access to good, clean, safe water. We'll see you back here live at 6 o'clock. For now, we're here in Shelby Township. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
What a great thing to do for that community. Hank, we appreciate it. We'll see you again at 6.
Now to what has been a beautiful day all across Metro Detroit. Again, that's a live look outside from our Ann Arbor Skycam, and we just need to keep it going into the weekend.
Yeah, we wish we could.
Yeah.
Let's get over Kim Adams. We aren't seeing those storms like we saw yesterday, the day before that, so that's good.
No, not at all. We have a much more stable air mass in place across much of Metro Detroit, so we are going to stay dry with the exception of one little cell that just popped up here down in Monroe, and it's moving right along North Custer Road. So coming up in the forecast, we'll get a little bit tighter there for you and take a look at that cell. It's not a severe storm, it's just a little downpour, but it's incredibly isolated as most areas right now are dry with temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s, 81 at City Airport, 84 now at Metro. The high today was 85. This evening looks really nice with pleasant conditions all the way through midnight. What about that weekend forecast? I'll have it for you coming up here in just a few minutes.
Hey, Kim, thank you. Prosecutors have rested their case in the retrial for 2 men charged with plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Today's testimony focused on explosives. An FBI agent who worked undercover told jurors the men talked about destroying 2 bridges, one in the Elk Rapids area and one near the governor's vacation home. The FBI agent known as Red says the goal was to slow down the law enforcement response. Adam Fox and Barry Croft are on trial for a second time on conspiracy charges. The defense now takes over with closing arguments happening as soon as tomorrow.
Today, a federal judge put in motion the unsealing of portions of the documents in the FBI's search warrant of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Comes as a former Trump Organization executive was sentenced for tax fraud. Alice Barr in Washington with the big developments from courtrooms in both New York and Florida. Alice.
Good evening. A top Justice Department lawyer called the probable cause affidavit that led to this unprecedented FBI search a detailed roadmap of an investigation that's still in its early stages. The mounting legal troubles surrounding former President Trump on display today in 2 separate courtrooms. In Florida, a federal judge deciding a key question about those classified documents the FBI seized from the former president's Mar-a-Lago home. The judge saying he believes portions of the affidavit justifying the search could be unsealed and ordering the Justice Department to file what it wants redacted by next Thursday. Judge Bruce Reinhardt hearing arguments from media organizations, including NBC News, who've pressed for the affidavit to be released because of public interest. The Trump legal team has not formally joined that push, despite him and his allies making public demands.
We want it released. We want full and complete transparency for the American people.
The Justice Department arguing the release would significantly compromise its ongoing criminal investigation into the former president's handling of sensitive documents that federal prosecutors said today is in its early stages and put key witnesses at risk.
Their national security interests, their criminal interests, their concerns about witnesses.
Meanwhile, in New York today, the ex-chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, pleading guilty to tax fraud charges in a case involving the company's business dealings. He has not agreed to testify against Donald Trump, the former president profiting from his problems.
Every moment where Donald Trump's name is in the news on any subject is a moment to raise money for Donald Trump.
The Washington Post reports he's been fundraising off the FBI search, bringing in nearly $1 million a day last week. Going back to the Mar-a-Lago search and arguing to protect witnesses, federal prosecutors referenced the political environment, calling this a volatile situation. In fact, the judge presiding today has faced death threats. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, FBI agents removed 11 sets of classified documents from the Florida estate. Some of them were marked top secret. The court records, though, do not give us details about the information inside the documents.
Well, how about this? You could possibly catch a glimpse of the northern lights this week. The National Weather Service says space weather activity shows we may be able to see the lights across Michigan tonight and tomorrow. Experts say the best way to see them is by looking north and dimming the lights at nighttime.
Cool. will show. Much more to come on this Thursday.
Here's Sean Lay.
I Heart Dogs. That's an animal rescue right here in Warren. They are working to save the life of this precious pup, someone so cold-hearted, causing such painful injuries to this dog. However, that cold-heartedness, it's opening hearts of people all across Metro Detroit. They've donated so much money the past 24 hours to pay the vet bills. A full update on this on Local 4.
All right, Sean. Also, local doctors' offices extra busy right now. Now, because of COVID, ahead we'll see what's sending so many people in our weekly look at what's going around. Devrod.
What I do not want is, an eviction, because that'll make it even harder for me to find something else to rent or buy.
It's a tough housing market for those looking to buy a home, but rental rates have increased as well. So what do?
I'm trying not to be frustrated about it, but it's kind of hard not to be.
I'm Evrod Kasumi. Coming up, she has just 6 weeks to find a new place to rent. Experts are sharing some tips for those looking to navigate this inflated rental market with no time to waste.